This is the philosophical lifter. Hey guys, welcome to Strong with Raj. No nonsense strength training. While I train in the gym, we're going to talk about a philosophy that defines who wins every single argument, the burden of proof. Look at this picture. That right there, that's the burden of truth. I know. The real term is the burden of proof. But when you're under a heavy bar, straining for every inch, you're not carrying proof, you're carrying truth. That weight is the truth of your commitment, the truth of your limits, and the truth of what you've claimed you can do. Today, we're going to be philosophical rebels. We're going to embrace my clumsy term, the burden of truth, and use it to simplify the most important logical tool you can use in training and in life. Part 1, defining the weight of the claim. What is this burden? In philosophy and logic, it's formally known as onus probandi, the obligation of one party in a dispute to provide sufficient evidence to support their claim. It defines the structure of every rational debate. The burden of truth falls on the person making the positive assertion. If you claim something exists, is true, or works, you're carrying the weight of the proof. If I simply question your claim, I carry no burden. The job of the skeptic isn't to disprove, it's to demand proof. This is a concept deeply embedded in epistemology, the study of knowledge. It teaches us how to sort out what we know from what we merely believe. Part 2, the two burdens. To be truly rational, we have to look past the surface. There are actually two distinct types of burden, one physical and one mental. Burden of production or evidential burden. This is the physical weight, the duty to produce enough initial evidence to even get the argument started. In the gym, this is the simple fact that you have to lift the bar before anyone can talk about your form. Burden of persuasion or legal burden. This is the mental weight, the duty to convince the audience that your claim is true. You might show me one good rep, but you have to show me 20 good reps to convince me your technique is solid. You have to succeed at both to avoid being crushed by the weight of your own claim. Part 3, the Sagan Standard, the no-nonsense rule. The greatest philosophers and the greatest scientists understood that all claims are not equal. This brings us to the no-nonsense rule for critical thinking, often called the Sagan Standard. Extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. If you claim that wearing copper bracelets will cure your knee pain, the evidence required is minimal. But if you claim that a specific single rep will unlock 5 years of untapped potential, that's an extraordinary claim, and you need the proof to back it up. You need more than just hope. You need data, logic, and consistent results. You need the extraordinary evidence to lift that extraordinary burden. Part 4, the atheism test, applying the burden. This concept is clearest in debates about religion, like between a theist and an atheist. It's the ultimate example of the burden of the positive claim. The theist claims that a deity exists. That is a positive assertion, and they carry the full burden of truth. The atheist, in contrast, makes a negative assertion. They state they lack belief in a God. They are simply questioning the positive claim. If the atheist is only saying, "I have not been convinced," they are making no claim that requires proof. The weight of the bar stays squarely on the theist until they provide evidence. It's a rational defense. Don't assert, don't carry the weight. Part 5, the burden of truth under the bar. So, what does this philosophical rebellion teach us about strength training? Everything. The burden is on the programmers. The burden of truth is always on the coach or the guru making the extraordinary claim. The person claiming the secret 1 week split will add 50 pounds to your total. They carry the burden. You, the rational lifter, simply ask, where is the proof? You don't have to disprove it. You just refuse to carry their weight until they prove it works. The burden is on the basics. We don't have to prove that squats, deadlifts, and overhead presses work. They are established principles of strength. The burden is on the person who claims they don't work. Our no-nonsense strength philosophy relies on principles so fundamental, they are self-evident, and that saves us from the unnecessary weight of complex, unproven claims. The burden is on you, the rep. Every time you commit to a heavy rep, you make a claim. I can lift this. That's your burden of truth. You can't blame the bar, the music, or the weather. You either lift it or you don't. The moment you fail, you don't get angry. You accept the weight of the evidence and adjust your plan. The burden of truth teaches us to be honest about what we know and what we don't. It's the most powerful tool for cutting through the noise in the gym. Stop carrying the weight of other people's unsubstantiated claims and only carry the weight of your own evidence. If this idea resonated, let me know what myth you'll challenge this week. And if you want another philosophy next, say the word. No nonsense, just results.